Before I knew it, the semester was almost over. One more year, and I'd be done if everything stayed on track. I was doing good in school, nothing less than a B in any of my classes, so I couldn't complain. My mom, that was a different story. She still hadn't found another job, living off severance and unemployment, trying her best, but I could see it getting harder. And every time I thought about it, I found myself going to Israel. I needed help. And he always came through. 2,000 here, a little more there, no hesitation. I wasn't about to let go of my bookstore job, though. I needed something to fall back on, just in case. Still, whatever Israel had going on, it was clearly paying off. He still hadn't gone back home to visit his mom either. She wanted to introduce him to Stone in person. I understood that. But I knew that secret was weighing on her. I called him. No answer. So I decided to go by his dorm. As I walked up, I saw Vernon coming out the door. The second he saw me, he froze, then turned right back around and rushed inside. I stopped walking. Yeah, something's up. But instead of reacting, I played it cool. I knocked on the door. It took a minute before I heard anything. Who is it? It's me. Open up. Hold on, I'm just getting out the shower. So what? Open the door. Before it opened, I heard whispering. Quick. Low. Then the door opened, and there stood Israel, slightly out of breath. What's up, baby? He smiled. Why you ain't called before you came by? Oh, I got a call now? I ain't saying it like that. I just didn't want you walking over here for nothing. Yeah, whatever. I stepped inside, looking around. Where Vernon at? He not here. Why? He just saw me walking up and ran back inside. Israel didn't even hesitate. Nah, baby, he left right before you got here. I nodded slowly. Probably. Yeah. Okay. Who's here? I asked. No one. Just me. I looked at him. I was thinking we could hang out tonight. You free? Not really. I got something to take care of. I smiled a little. Since I'm already here, we could just stay in. Watch a movie or something. He hesitated. I'm actually about to head out, but maybe we can do dinner later. And just like that, he started moving toward the door, like he was trying to get me out. Oh, so you kicking me out now? Nah, you can come with me. Let me get dressed. He walked into the bedroom and closed the door. I followed and tried the handle. Locked. What you locked the door for? Hold on, baby. I had to grab something. Why are you locking doors now? Silence. Let me find out somebody in there. Girl, quit tripping. Ain't nobody in here. Open the door. It took him a while. Too long. When the door finally opened, the first thing I noticed was the smell. Perfume. Not mine. I stepped into the room. Calm. Too calm. Whoever was in there was hiding. Closet. Under the bed. Somewhere I already knew. My eyes landed on the dresser. A small box. I walked over and opened it. Inside, an XO necklace. Pretty, but not mine. There was a card inside. I read it. A token of my thanks for all that good loving you've given me. Yeah, that told me everything. But I didn't react. Not the way he thought I would. Baby, this is beautiful. His head turned fast. When were you going to give this to me? His eyes got wide. Damn. I can't surprise you sometimes? I smiled. Walked over. Kissed him. I knew whoever was in that room could hear everything. Well, let me thank you for my necklace. He hesitated. Baby, I told you. I gotta take care of something. Oh, that can wait. I made myself comfortable on the bed, taking my time, looking right at him, letting him know exactly what I wanted. He wasn't about to say no, and I made sure every moment, every sound was just loud enough, intentional, for whoever was hiding. Come here, I said softly. He did. No words, just action. And I let him, because if he wanted to play, I could play harder. After everything, I got up like nothing happened. Went to the bathroom, got myself together. Came back and got dressed. Call me later if you still want to do dinner. I kissed him and walked out. I thought about waiting outside, catching him. But he could have walked out with anyone and denied it. Nah, not like this. But one thing I knew for sure, from that moment on, I was done playing nice. If he thought he was gonna play me, he got the wrong one.
I went back into the bedroom and closed the door behind me. A few seconds later, Andrea slid out from under the bed. The look on her face said everything. "Baby, I'm sorry," I said. I didn't know she was coming over. She never just pops up like that. She crossed her arms, shaking her head. "She took my necklace. And you really just did all that while I was under the bed?" I ran my hand over my face. I had to do something. If I turned her down, she would have known something was up. Andrea looked at me, hurt written all over her face. "I knew you had a girl from day one, but that didn't make it hurt any less." I had to sit there and listen to everything. I stepped closer to her. "I know you're mad, and I'll make it up to you. You know I'm really starting to feel you. That just caught me off guard." She looked at me for a second before speaking again. "If you're really feeling me like that, then why don't you leave her?" she asked. "You barely even spend time with her. You're always with me or out handling your shows." I didn't answer right away, because the truth was, she wasn't wrong. I had to be honest with myself. Lately, I'd been with Andrea more than Dee, and I couldn't even lie about it. But walking away from Dee, that wasn't simple. She had been there from the beginning, solid, loyal, and I loved her. No question. But then there was Andrea. Everything between us started the day Vernon called her and her friend over, and from that moment, she had my attention. She was different, easy to be around. She understood me, respected what I had going on. I even told her about my business, something I never told Dee. And instead of questioning it, she supported it, helped me when I needed it, never made me feel like I was doing too much. That's where things got complicated, because now I felt stuck. Dee had my heart, but Andrea, she was getting to me in a whole different way. And standing there in that moment, I couldn't help but think, what's a man supposed to do?
If he wants to play, then I will too. There was this girl from my math class, Lala. She had been asking me to go out, have some fun, loosen up a little. I always brushed her off. But tonight felt different. I hadn't really hung out with anyone at school before, but she seemed cool. So I figured, why not? I picked up my phone, about to call her, when there was a knock at my door. "Hey girl," Lala said, smiling as I opened it. "I'm just doing my weekly check-in to see if you finally want to hang out. I already know you about to say no, but I didn't want you thinking I was acting funny if I stopped asking." I laughed a little. "What's up, girl? Actually, I was just about to call you." Her eyes lit up. "Oh, wait a minute. What's the occasion? Let me find out your man in the doghouse." I wasn't about to go into all that. Not with her. Not yet. "Nah, everything's cool," I said casually. "I just feel like I'm overdue for some fun." She smiled. "So what time we going out?" "We can leave around midnight," she said. "I'll come get you. We about to have a good time." I nodded. "All right, I'll be ready." "Girl, I'm excited," she said. "The club be live. And trust me, it's always dudes trying to buy drinks, get your attention, all that." She laughed. "I go every week and never spend $1. Whatever I leave the house with, I come back with." I smiled. I like the sound of that. We said our goodbyes, and she left. I looked around my room, and for the first time in a while, I actually felt ready. I still had some time before midnight, so I started thinking about what I was going to wear. Because tonight, I wasn't just going out. I was stepping into something new. If Israel was out here doing whatever he wanted, then I wasn't about to sit around waiting. I needed my own space, my own fun, my own distractions. And tonight, I was going to find it.
Me and Vernon met up at our usual spot, going over plans for the next moves. The girls were there too, and like always, they were ready for whatever we had lined up. I couldn't even lie. I had things set up in a way most people wouldn't understand. And somehow, it all just worked. After we wrapped everything up, Vernon looked over at me. "Man, we hitting the town tonight," he said. I smirked. I wasn't about to argue with that. After everything that almost went down earlier, I needed to clear my head. And as far as I knew, Dee didn't have anybody out here like that. So tonight, I could move how I wanted.
It was almost 11, and I decided it was time to start getting ready. I jumped in the shower, got dressed, and went with my black mini halter dress. Since I was wearing open-toe sandals, I made sure my toes were done too. I took a look at myself in the mirror, and I couldn't even lie. I looked good. And to top it off, I had on my new XO necklace. By the time I finished everything, it was 11:55. Perfect timing. I headed downstairs to meet Lala. I was right on time. And I hoped she would be too, because I hated waiting on people. As soon as I stepped outside, she was already there. "How long you been waiting?" I asked, getting into the car. "Only about 5 minutes," she said with a smile. "You ready to party?" I smiled back. "Yeah, I'm ready." We pulled off, heading toward the club. Tonight, I wasn't holding back. I was ready to have a drink, hit the dance floor, and let loose. When we got there, the line was long. Girls dressed to impress. Guys looking just as ready for the night. We parked the car and made our way to the line. "We're not standing in this line. Come on," Lala said. Before I could even question her, she started walking straight to the front. I followed, a little hesitant. I was not trying to get embarrassed tonight. We walked right up to the front, and the bouncer looked at her. "How many?" "Just me and my girl," she said confidently. He nodded and moved the velvet rope. Just like that, we were in. A female security guard checked our bags, and a few seconds later, we were inside. The club was packed, wall to wall. I didn't even see how they could fit another person in there. The music was loud. The lights were low. Everybody was moving. The first thing we did was head to the bathroom, just to make sure everything was still in place. I stood at the mirror fixing my makeup when I felt it. That feeling like someone was watching me. I looked up, and there was a girl standing behind me, looking right at me. "That's a nice necklace. Where you get that from?" she asked. I turned around before answering. "It was a gift from my boyfriend," I said. She paused for a second. Your man must really care about you. Wish we could all be that lucky." There was something in her tone, something off. I made a mental note not to forget her face. "Yeah, he does," I said, smiling. "And no, we all can't be that lucky." Lala grabbed my arm, pulling me toward the door. As soon as we stepped out of the bathroom, she leaned in. "You know her?" "No, never seen her before," I said. "She was looking at you funny," Lala said, "like she knew something." I stayed quiet. "Just be careful," she added. "That's Andrea. She be moving around with whoever." Andrea. So that's who she was. It's whatever, I said with a small laugh. There's always somebody watching. We headed to the bar, and before we could even sit down, a guy was already asking what we were drinking. I'll take a sex on the beach, I said. Lala ordered a shot. We toasted and made our way to the dance floor. The DJ had the place going. Music loud, people everywhere, energy all around. At one point, a guy stepped behind me and started dancing. I wasn't really feeling it, so I moved forward, and he got the hint. But when I turned around, I caught a glimpse of him walking away. Dark skin, bald head, confident. Yeah, he looked good. I smiled to myself. I'd find him again later. Ready for another drink? Lala asked. I nodded. We made our way back to the bar. And there he was. I stood next to him like I didn't notice, but I could feel him looking at me, smiling. He ordered a shot, then told the bartender to take care of us too. When I turned to thank him, he was already gone. I smirked. Okay, so he moves like that. We went back to the dance floor, laughing, dancing, just enjoying the moment. Then I turned around and saw her again, Andrea, standing there, watching me. If she keeps looking at me like that, I might have to give her something to look at. And then it hit me. What if that was the same girl, the one hiding earlier? It would make sense, especially since I'm standing here, wearing something that was never meant for me. Oh well.
We pulled up to the club in Vernon's truck. It was just me, my cousin, and a few of the homies. We all linked up whenever we could. The club was packed like always. We don't do lines. Straight to VIP. Paid what we had to and walked right in. Soon as we stepped inside, the energy hit. Music loud, lights low, people everywhere. We hit the bar, grabbed a bottle, then made our way to our section. After a while, we had the waitress bring us double shots. That was our go-to. Vernon nudged me. Andrea. I already saw her. Didn't react. Earlier, I told him I was on something different tonight, and I meant that. I wasn't trying to get caught up. Not tonight. After a while, I headed to the bathroom, handled my business, and as soon as I stepped out, Andrea was standing right there. Hey, didn't know you were coming out tonight, she said. I just needed to unwind, I told her. What's up with you? She looked at me, then said, I saw your girl in here. She had on my necklace. That made me pause. What are you talking about? My girl doesn't even go out like that, I said. I know what I saw. And I don't forget faces, she said. For a second, I didn't know what to think, but she looked a little tipsy, so I brushed it off. You might want to go sit down, I said. You're doing a little too much right now. She didn't argue, just hugged me and walked off. I shook it off and went back to my section. On the way, I ran into one of my old teammates, Kai. Yo, what's good? We dapped each other up. Same old. What you been on, he asked. You know me. Just working. Come through to VIP. I said. He pulled up with us, greeted everybody, and we kept it going. More drinks, more energy. A couple girls came over dancing in front of us. Kai was scanning the room, focused. Then something caught his attention. Same direction I had just glanced, but I wasn't paying it any mind. He was locked in. I wasn't. I had my eye on something too. I motioned for her to come over. She came and sat next to me like she already knew the vibe. Confident, relaxed, didn't need another drink, she already had enough. I respected that. No man, no attachments, just out enjoying herself. She looked at me like she already knew my situation, and she wasn't wrong, but she didn't press it, didn't care to. As long as things stayed quiet, everything stayed easy. I leaned back, watching the room again. Kai was already making his move. And somewhere in this club, things were starting to connect. whether I realized it or not.
I was starting to feel a little warm, so I made my way over to the bar to sit down. As soon as I got settled, he walked over. "Hey, beautiful." I looked up at him and smiled. "Hey, I'm Dee, and you are?" "Kai." "Nice. Can I get you another drink?" "Yeah. I'll take a sex on the beach." He placed the order, then took a seat next to me like it was nothing. "You look familiar." "You from around here?" he asked. "Not really. I go to Howard." That caught his attention. "Yeah, that explains it. I just graduated from there." "Oh, okay," I said, nodding. "That place goes by fast," he added. We kept talking. Easy, natural. Lala came over for a minute, checked in, then drifted back off. Kai was different. Calm, confident, easy to talk to. For a second, I wondered if he might know Israel, but I pushed the thought away. Right now, I just wanted to enjoy myself. "Girl, I'm getting tired," Lala said, coming back over. "You ready to go?" I paused. I wasn't ready. Not even close. "If you are, we can," I said, playing it cool. But I glanced at Kai. Just enough, and he caught it. "I can take you home if you're not ready to leave yet." I smiled. "Yeah, that works." Lala looked at me. "You gonna be good." Before I could answer, Kai spoke. "Let's step outside. We'll walk you to your car." We walked Lala out and made sure she got to her car safely. She pulled off, and just like that, it was just me and him. "Want to grab something to eat?" he asked. I didn't hesitate. "Yeah." I wasn't ready for the night to end. We left the club together and headed to a diner.
I got up from talking to the cutie pie and glanced across the room. That's when I saw Kai, talking to a girl. At first I didn't think anything of it, but something made me look again. And when I did, I froze. Dee, what was she doing here? And why was she standing there smiling in his face? Then it hit me. That must have been who he was talking about. I started moving. I had to get over there. Kai don't miss when he wants something, and I wasn't about to let that happen. I turned for a second to give the young lady my number, told her to hit me later, but my mind wasn't even there anymore. When I looked back, they were gone. Just like that, I scanned the floor, the bar, everywhere. Nothing. I felt it instantly. That frustration building up. Now I'm thinking the worst. I can move how I want, but seeing her out like that? With him? Yeah, that didn't sit right with me at all. I shook my head. Nah, I need to get out of here. If I get back to her dorm and she's not there, then I already know what happened, and I don't even want to think about that.